proposal to increase the number of participating teams at the 2030 World Cup in Saudi Arabia to 64. The 2030 World Cup will be played in 6 countries across 3 continents. Spain, Portugal and Morocco will jointly host the 2030 World Cup, with selected matches to be played in Uruguay, Argentina and Paraguay to make the tournament centenary. The competition will follow the 2026 edition of the competition to be hosted by the US, Canada and Mexico. It will be the first to feature an expansion of participating teams from 32 countries to 48. And according to reports, the proposed 64-team expansion will be a one-off for the 2030 edition. And still on the FIFA World Cup, Neymar Jr. has been recalled to the Brazil squad after a 17-month absence for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Colombia and Argentina. The Santos forward has not featured for the Seleção since sustaining a knee injury against Uruguay L3 in October 2023. However, after an underwhelming spell at Saudi Arabia League side Al Hilal, he has caught the eye since moving back to his boyhood club in January. The 33-year-old has scored 3 goals and 3 assists in 7 appearances in the Brazilian top flights. The Seleção, who are 5th in the CONMEBOL table with 18 points from 12 games, hosts Colombia on the 21st of March and then visits leaders La Albiceleste of Argentina 5 days later. And the Amavubi of Rwanda will play a test game against the local side as part of their preparations for the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The friendly is scheduled for Saturday in Kigali. The Rwanda Football Association, FEWAFA, announced the appointment of Algerian Adel Amrouche as new head coach of the Amavubi on Sunday. Amrouche will use the friendly to assess home-based players before unveiling a squad for the game. Rwanda will host the Super Eagles in a matchday 5 encounter at the Amahoro Stadium on Friday, the 21st of March. The Amavubi will host Lesotho at the same venue 4 days later. They currently top Group C with 7 points from 4 games. Now to women's football, where the Super Falcons have been ranked in 36th position in the world, reinforcing their dominance as Africa's top women's football team. On the continent, the Falcons are followed by South Africa's Banyana, who are 53rd in the world, Morocco 61st, Zambia 62nd, and Ghana 66th. During the review period, the Falcons secured commanding victories over Algeria, winning 2-0 and 4-1, but faced a 2-1 defeat to France. Despite this mixed results, the Super Falcons remain unchallenged in African women's football. On the global stage, the US remained the top team in the eyes of FIFA, followed by Spain, Germany in 2nd and 3rd places respectively. England, a dominant force in women's football, sits in 4th place, while Japan rounds up the top 5. Retired professional footballers and administrators in Africa have criticized Jamie Carragher for playing down the importance of the African Cup of Nations. The former Liverpool defender was of the opinion that the tournament could count against Liverpool's Mohamed Salah winning the Ballon d'Or award. We have details in this report.
Edition of the AFCON tournament. It will be hosted by Morocco with 24 teams participating. The first edition of the tournament was held in the year 1957 with great African players gracing the tournament over the years. The first edition was held in 1957, and since then great players have graced the event over the years. From Nigeria's J.J. Okocha, Cameroon's Samuel Eto'o, Senegal's El Hadji Diouf, and many other great players. Despite this array of stars, former Liverpool defender Jamie Carragher feels it is not competitive enough. This has led to criticism from notable administrators and former footballers on the continent.
Talking about Ballon d'Or, the best player in the world, we don't talk about the country he's from. Remember, George Weah once won it. George Weah is from Mr. George Oppong Weah, Mr. President. He's from Liberia. He has never appeared in the World Cup. He has never been in the quarterfinal of the African Cup of Nations, but he ended up winning Ballon d'Or. So I think, listen, if you want to talk about football, let's talk about people that knew.
And Joshua Zirkzee scored his first goal in Europe for Manchester United, but the Red Devils were held to a 1-1 draw by Spanish side Real Sociedad to leave their Europa League last 16 tie in the balance. Real Sociedad equalized through a Mikel Oyarzabal penalty awarded after a review by the video assistant referee for a handball by Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United will feel disappointed not to have won after they dominated the game for almost an hour, with Andre Onana not having had to make a save before the hosts were given a penalty.
Always takes a long time for penalty takers.
In other Europa League results, Tottenham Hotspur lost away at AZ Alkmaar 1-0. Steaua Bucharest lost at home 1-3 to Lyon of France. Rangers beat Fenerbahce 3-1 in Turkey. In the Europa Conference League, Chelsea won at Copenhagen in Denmark 2-1. Molde also won against Legia Warsaw 3-2. Panathinaikos were 3-2 winners against Fenerbahce, while Real Betis, Balompié and Victoria de Guimarães settled for a 2-2 draw.